Robert Duncan McNeill's three Star Trek characters share something unusual in common. Robert Duncan McNeill is one of those actors who quietly shaped Star Trek history in ways many fans don't even realize. While most know him best as Tom Paris, the cocky, charming pilot of the USS Voyager, McNeill actually played three different characters across the Star Trek universe. What's fascinating isn't just that he pulled off three roles, but that all of them share something strikingly unusual in common, a theme that speaks to one of Star Trek's most enduring obsessions: redemption, rebellion, and second chances. From his early appearance as a rebellious young officer in The Next Generation to his defining turn as Paris, and even his brief but symbolic role in Lower Decks, McNeill's Star Trek journey has been tied together by one recurring idea: men who made mistakes, faced consequences, and got the rare opportunity to rebuild themselves. In a franchise built on exploration, McNeill's characters have always explored something more personal: the human capacity to grow past failure. 1. Nick Locarno, Star Trek: The Next Generation's tragic cadet. Before Tom Paris ever set foot on Voyager, Robert Duncan McNeill first entered the Star Trek universe as Nicholas Locarno in Star Trek: The Next Generation's Season 5 episode, The First Duty. Locarno was a Starfleet Academy cadet and the leader of Nova Squadron, a group of elite young pilots. He was bold, charming, and utterly confident, a natural leader, much like Paris would later be. But Locarno's ambition turned fatal when a training maneuver went wrong and killed a fellow cadet. Locarno orchestrated a cover-up to protect his team's reputation. His actions ultimately led to his expulsion from Starfleet, cementing him as one of the most notorious failures in Academy history. What makes Locarno so compelling is that he wasn't evil, just flawed. He represented the dark side of Starfleet idealism, the danger of pride in a system that prizes perfection. McNeill played him with both arrogance and remorse, creating a character fans wouldn't soon forget. And in many ways, Locarno's legacy didn't end there. Because when Star Trek Voyager began a few years later, producers wanted to bring McNeill back as the same kind of character, only this time with a chance at redemption. 2. Tom Paris, Star Trek: Voyager's redeemed rebel. Tom Paris's backstory in Voyager practically mirrors Locarno's. He was a former Starfleet officer who'd been expelled after falsifying reports during a training accident, the exact same mistake that ruined Locarno. The parallels were so strong that many fans assumed Paris was Locarno, just renamed to avoid paying royalties to the TNG episode's writers. But in universe, Paris was a separate person, one who symbolized something much deeper. When Voyager launched in 1995, Paris was a disgraced officer recruited by Captain Janeway for her mission into the Delta Quadrant. Like Locarno, he was a man haunted by failure. But unlike Locarno, Paris was offered a genuine second chance. Over 7 seasons, Paris transformed from a cynical outcast into one of Voyager's most loyal and capable officers. He became the ship's chief pilot, found love with B'Elanna Torres, and even started a family. His arc was a full-circle journey of personal growth, the redemption story that Locarno never got. McNeill's performance brought humor, warmth, and sincerity to Paris, helping him evolve from a rebellious loner into a true Starfleet hero. He was still the same cocky flyboy at heart, but he learned to use his confidence for good. And years later, Star Trek brought things full circle again, this time in the most unexpected way possible. 3. Nick Locarno's return, Star Trek: Lower Decks. In 2023, Star Trek Lower Decks pulled off one of the franchise's most clever deep cuts. It brought back Nicholas Locarno as the main villain of its 4th season finale, Old Friends, New Planets. Once again voiced by Robert Duncan McNeill, Locarno resurfaced decades after his expulsion, now leading a group of rebellious Starfleet dropouts trying to create their own utopia, one free of rules and hierarchy. It was a shocking and brilliant move. In many ways, Locarno became the mirror image of Tom Paris, 2 men who started from the same mistake, but went in completely opposite directions. Paris redeemed himself. Locarno doubled down. Paris learned that Starfleet's ideals could make him better. Locarno decided those ideals were the problem. This contrast highlights the unusual commonality among McNeill's Star Trek characters. Each represents a different stage in the moral journey of the same archetype: the gifted pilot who flew too close to the sun. Locarno is the sinner, Paris the penitent, and older Locarno the fallen idealist who could never forgive himself. It's storytelling symmetry that few actors in Star Trek have ever achieved, especially across 3 separate series. The unusual thread. Star Trek's obsession with redemption. What unites Robert Duncan McNeill's three Star Trek characters isn't just his face or his charm. It's the story of redemption itself. Every version of the man he plays is defined by failure, guilt, and the desperate hope of making things right. In The Next Generation,